From the glossary. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. The multi-dimensional programming software of human consciousness. Your DNA is a super-sensitive substance found in every cell of your body. Depending on your attitude at any given moment, your DNA is the architect, via your endocrine system, of your physical, emotional, and mental reality. As you raise the frequency of energy passing through your DNA, it unveils higher programming functions that were lying latent inside you. These higher functions give rise to the natural expression of your innate genius. At the most refined levels of frequency, your DNA synthesizes hormones that allow your physical awareness to actually transcend DNA itself, culminating in the embodiment of your inner divinity. You won't find that in a textbook. So, DNA is the final line in terms of how small things get in the body before we enter into the atomic and the subatomic world. So in that sense, it's right on the fringes of what we can see and what we can map. And so it being a code shows us that it is this fundamental code to all life, but to you personally as well. So it contains your fundamental ingredients for your destiny. That's what it is the ingredients, the listed ingredients. But how you combine those ingredients, the order, the way, the quality of those ingredients, that's up to us. That's up to you, the chef. So that's why this definition talks about your attitude. Your attitude is key. Your attitude is the architect. Your attitude, so when something bad happens to you, the way you respond to that is fundamental to how you program, how you access the programming of your DNA, the capability of your DNA. That's why when you look at the gene keys, you look at any gene key, sixth gene key, conflict, shadow, diplomacy, the gift, and peace, the city. What you have a spectrum to choose from. You're going to go into the conflict. Are you going to propagate the conflict? Is your mind going to be thinking in terms of conflict, defense, attack? Or do you harness the powers of the gift? Do you kind of respond creatively to those difficult emotions and find within yourself a way of not offending that person, a way of phrasing and adjusting yourself with poise through diplomacy? Or do you come at the highest level from utter peace and from a sense that it doesn't even touch you? It doesn't even have to touch you. Whatever someone else goes through or whatever the world goes through, it can't touch the ineffable peace that's inside you. So you respond from that place. So we have a plethora of possibilities inside us. We have these 64 DNA strands, literally in that, we have these codons, and we contain them all in many, many forms over and over and over again, coiled, literally just trillions of molecules of this phosphate inside us. So much that if you stretch it all out, it would stretch, I believe, from here to the planet Pluto and back. That is a long way. It's something like almost 1 billion miles or something, or 100 million miles, I believe it is. That's how much of this coding we have inside us. And, when it talks about your genius is about uniqueness. So you know when it's genius because it doesn't imitate. There is not a breath of imitation about, you're not imitating someone else, or you're not imitating another genre, another style. You're just completely unique. It's coming out of you. It's coming out of you. And there's beauty to that. Synthesizes hormones that allow your physical awareness to actually transcend DNA itself. I love that. DNA has got built inside itself a self-transcending capacity. So once we activate these highest components inside our physical body, it synthesizes all kinds of chemicals that allow us to naturally transcend our bodies, and experience higher awareness, experience oneness, unity with all forms, with all beings. That's the highest capacity of DNA, to give us this view into divinity, this knowing, to remind us, to remember us. So the attitude is the key. And I love that little definition, something to really contemplate: multi-dimensional programming software of human consciousness. It is, it's just, it's taken us to get here, to this technology information age, before we can understand that we are the technology. I'm always saying this to people, like, people are so obsessed with what's the latest technology, where's it going to take us? And we are the technology. We don't understand that yet. But will come a time where we drop all our external technology. We just drop it, because we're going to realize it's all inside us. We can do all those things without the technology. But it's a phase of evolution we're in. We are magical beings. At our highest level of the siddhis, you can think something and it can happen. But your mind and your heart and your body has to be so purified for that to occur. So there's not even a breath or a whisker of the lower frequencies of the shadow, or of pride, or vanity. There's no belief that you're separate. There's just the whole choosing through us. So that's what we mean by deoxyribonucleic acid.